So here we are, right here in the city of San Pedro with Luis, the owner and also the DJ of Steady Beat Records. What's up, brother?
Hey, hanging out, being cool. I can't really help it.
So let's talk about the origins and let's go way, way back. You grew up in Carson?
Well, San Pedro and Wilmington.
Okay.
But yeah, I had a lot of friends in Carson. I went to, the reason I know a lot of people in Carson is because I went to Eagle Tree.
Okay.
Eagle Tree High School. And if people are not familiar with Eagle Tree, it's like top echelon school right there in Carson, right next to Carson High. Only the best.
The movers and the shakers.
Only the best go there. Believe me, only the best.
So, like, were you like a rowdy kid? Were you like in the streets? Were you?
No, man. Really, I was a very cool, like regular type guy. Just like, it's like, you know, I was always in the background, and at some point got pushed into the foreground. That's something I didn't want, but you know, got in trouble and boom, ended up at Eagle Tree. But that was after I was at Narbonne and then Eagle Tree.
Oh wow!
But I started off at Banning. So you get to know the whole harbor area. You know.
And like back then, when you were in high school, like were you aware of the DJs, or were you into music at that time?
Man, I got into music like at a young age. My older brother always was into the Beatles and Santana. My other brother was into even older crazy stuff.
How many brothers do you have? Two?
I have 3 brothers.
Oh wow!
2 older and 1 younger. And the 2 older ones, they kind of really just influenced me in a lot of different types of music, American music. You know, basically all the like the rock, the soul, etc. And then my mom, she would play a lot of tropical cumbias and you know different type of tropical music around the house.
On records or tape?
On records, yeah, because that's what we had, records. After a while, my dad bought a console in the 70s. It was a console that he would actually record the records onto an 8-track because that's what he had in his truck, and then he'd play that in his truck. And then, my dad would listen to rancheras and norteñas and mariachi music and all that other stuff, corridos. So it was like the best of both worlds, you know. I was town and country, I guess.
Yeah.
So growing up like that, I always wanted to be involved in music and do music. And when I was like 13, me and my friend Eddie, he, you know, we just started collecting, buying records and getting a system going. And we had a turntable and a realistic mixer and a cassette deck and a house speaker.
Yeah.
And we're like, let's do it. We're ready for house parties.
Yeah.
And we actually did a couple of house parties, you know, little friends. Oh, it's my birthday party. I'll be the hell, let's go.
Yeah.
You know, it's like all rink-a-dink.
Did you have one turntable at the time?
One turntable, one mixer, and a cassette deck.
Wow.
Because, you know, at that point, you made your mix cassettes. And they're like, okay, I know what's on here. I'll play it next. And you go back and forth. And that's what we did for a while. But then I think when he was 15 or 16, it was like, man, I want to buy some techniques. Because that's what all the DJs have.
Yeah.
We'd go to Uncle Jam's Army. They used to have them at San Rico Hall. No, at the Big John's Hall.
Yeah, Big John's.
Big John's, and then the San Rico Hall. I mean, they have them all these different little places, right? And we'd go and we'd see the guys, bro, straight up rapping. I'm like, bro, this is insane.
Yeah.
Right? And I remember one time I'm like, what should I wear? I'm like, there's no streetwear for shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Everyone was wearing like button-up shirts or a t-shirt. It was like, now you think back of it, people are like, no, you gotta wear this. And like, bro, back then you're just regular Joe, bro. It's just me, man. What's up?
Yeah.
There's no
preparation,
no clothing line for none of that, you know, because you look at it like, how come, because some guys are wearing like, you know, puffy jackets, and it's not because it's a style, it's because that's because Kmart sold it for cheap. Like, that's what you wear. So and then he wanted some turntables. Like, I only have money for one, so I pitched in for the other turntable. I said, just pay me back. And I remember we bought them down in downtown LA on Spring Street. The place, it was everywhere. I went about turntables and shit.
Yeah,
lights. Everybody.
I remember those days. Yeah, and the oscillators and the fog machine.
You walk in, and you're like, oh wow,
all the lights were on.
And that's what about the turntable. He was so happy, man. I'm like, fuck, these fuckers are heavy. I didn't realize because at that point I never carried a technique.
Metal.
I mean,
metal.
you only saw them. You never went up there. Let's see how heavy this is. You're like, dude, what the hell?
Especially like inside the box. It's pretty major.
Yeah, bro. I was like, man, we took him home, and then he set him up in his place. He was all happy.
Wow.
Still realistic mixer. Then he got a Gemini mixer after that, little by little. And then that's where he practiced, and I go over to his house.
What were you playing?
Back then, it was all like Midnight Star, Freakazoid Robots,
dance stuff.
Lips Incorporated,
Yeah.
Funky Town. It was all that late 70s disco to early 80s what was happening at the time, because that's all it was.
I call that stuff house party.
House party.
It's house party.
Gat band.
Yeah.
Wild Cherry. You'll throw that shit in there, right?
Yeah.
Shit like that.
Foxy,
it's not like people be like, bro, there was not a lot.
Yeah.
There was, but you could choose, but not
Genius
like now.
of Love. Yeah.
Well, you know those.
Yeah.
Dang, everybody knows those, right? So,
Yeah.
Rick James, can't go wrong.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong.
The whole album. Yeah.
So all that stuff, that's what I was playing.
Yeah.
Then I started getting into a lot of electrofunk because that stuff was coming out. It wasn't even out. It was 84, 85. That's when that stuff started blowing up. So it was all, started getting into all that. By the time...
How many events with Uncle Jam's Army did you go to?
I think it was 3.
Yeah?
3.
Wow.
I saw Egyptian Lover was at one of them.
Uh-huh.
And they had other guys, like guys from the East Coast. At one time, I remember they had the Knights of the Turntables.
Oh, wow.
Remember those guys?
Yeah,
There was like 4 guys on turntables.
Yeah.
They had those guys.
And drum machines too, right? Like they would come out with the drum machine and play over the drum machine? Or?
No, this was before drum machines. No one could afford drum machines back then. It was just a turntable. Well, as far as I know, if I saw it. But I remember those drum machines. They were like little metal ones.
Yeah.
Like little metal...
Yeah, like the 606. It was like called like the Dramatics. Yeah.
Yeah, those. But no, I don't. If they did, I don't remember.
Yeah, because it's funny because you're a little older than me, and I've only been to one Uncle Jam's Army event that was at the Olympic Auditorium. And as soon as my dad dropped me and my friend off, somebody did a drive-by, and like we had a duck, and then after that we managed to get in, and on the stage they had a bunch of amplifiers with VU meters that were all doing the same, like to the beat. And that's my only memory, because like I just know that I was so hyped to be there.
That's when they got bigger, man.
Yeah,
because I remember, the ones was Samarika Hall and then Big John.
I wish I would have went to those.
And the other one, I don't remember where it was at. Maybe it was like, but it was around here in Carson somewhere.
And that was with System 5, right? Like,
I don't remember.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that was like I think they were Asian. It was like an Asian DJ group here in the South Bay.
Yeah, that was some times. And then after that, I was DJing at the Kennedy Hall and at the Daiichi Hotel on the west side.
Oh yeah.
I
remember that spot. Yeah, like it had carpet, right?
Yeah, and it was small ceiling.
It was small, yeah.
And then you DJ from the kitchen or wherever the fuck that was. It was the kitchen.
Wow.
You had the little thing out there, and I'm like,
yeah,
this is a weird room in here.
I actually liked that venue. Like for some reason, I just liked it. Like it felt like good times in there.
It was in Koreatown.
Yeah.
Because one thing I remember on the first show, the signs are out different, bro. How am I gonna find this place? Because it was Koreatown. I'd never been to Koreatown until that time.
Yeah.
I was like, dude. It was weird. And then, so after that, I guess I remember that night, I my girlfriend went with me, and she wasn't vibing. She was vibing. And then, so after that, I think that was like 88, 89. I think house music started coming in, and then after that, I was like, man, I got money to be spending on house music, because it's like you start buying. I started buying a few records, but I'm like, things are shifting. I'm cool.
Which record shops did you hit up?
Back then, it would be this record shop in Carson. Right there.
SNS, right?
The one in Carson Mall? That
Yeah.
one. One in Long Beach, I forgot the name, but it was like a small one too. I never went to VP Records back then. And a couple ones up on Melrose.
Yeah, Prime Cuts and DMC.
DMC. Yeah. Those are the ones.
That was it.
Those are the ones that's it. I mean,
yeah.
Why? You don't have that much money to go to look for all of them.
I used to go to Music Plus on PCH, and like they had a little section of like the hip hop stuff and like the electro, and so I would go there in SNS, and that's really like the only places.
Basically, that was it.
Maybe Warehouse or Tower. I don't know.
Sometimes, but
so you would try to go to the DJ spots.
Yeah, because that's all you did. I mean, I bought, and when I bought to collect or whatever, I'd get the swap. I buy stuff to swap because back then, stuff at the swap meet was like, hey, bro, this is pretty good. Good stuff.
Oh, that's right. There was a road.
Those records are still in my collection because they're still in good condition because they haven't been beat up because they're kind of fresh, like, 25 years ago. Those records are still fresh. So, yeah, but those for that. And then in like when I was 20, a lot of those records, I bought a crate of dance records got stolen.
Oh, wow.
Eddie, his whole truck got stolen with the turntable, everything got stolen. I'm like,
from where? Like from the neighborhood?
From he was living in Long Beach, and he got stolen in Long Beach.
Damn.
Off of Willow.
So somebody knew what was in there.
Well, all they need is a
People
flashlight.
see you
You see a flashlight, you're like, oh, bro, what's going on in here? Take the whole car.
Yeah.
But then again, it was like a little Toyota truck.
Yeah, that's easy.
They're like, you get the truck and the stuff inside? Damn. So, yeah, and then after that, I was just like, I kind of like backed off. You get depressed.
Yeah.
No more records. Well, the cool records, my dance records.
So they took all the records?
Not all of them.
Okay,
no.
but
those my DJing records.
The good stuff, yeah.
I still had stacks of stuff, but not the deep cut, like the deep high energy shit, the deep, the deep stuff, the stuff that now is worth like $100.
Yeah, yeah.
Now I'm like, oh, whatever. But then I ended up, after that, I ended up buying all those records all over again, but on 45, if I could find them. On 45, I'm like, you know what? Because I'm not really going to go out and DJ them a lot. They're a little harder to mix, harder to blend.
Yeah.
But after a while, you get a quick one. It's not going to be like
light on the finger.
Yeah. So, yeah, and then that's it, man. And then after that, I was just like chilling, minding my own business. But I still want to do stuff in music and stuff. So I was just looking for. What I did, I started taking classes at Harvard College for being a sound engineer. Being a sound engineer.
Was it a good class? Like, was it?
Oh yeah, man! It was done by a guy named John Payne. He was like, he knew everything. He was smart. He wasn't. You needed help, he'll help you out. He'll explain everything to you, which is good. Versus the guy's like, man, go look it up. He'll tell you, like, bro, and he'll break it all down. And during that time, when I was doing that, I was already like doing backyard parties. I'd started doing backyard parties because my friend knew that I was a DJ before, but he didn't know me in high school. And he's like, I have a friend who's into ska, and he wants to do ska shows. I'm like, oh yeah, man, back in the South, let's go. What? Ska? What the fuck? Let's figure out. I was just like, let's do a show, I don't care what, let's just do a show.
Let's do something, yeah.
And then, so I met the homie, he's like, yeah, man, you like ska? I'm like the specials? No, man, third generation. Dude, the hell, third generation, dude, what is this? Then he broke it down, like he played Operation Ivy, the Busters, all that new ska punk shit, right? I'm like, oh, cool, yeah, I get this, dude, this is cool. Is
that more British or like American ska?
It's a little bit of both.
Okay.
Because at that time, after the two-tone era, kind of whatever, there's still ska bands, but not a lot of them, and some of them just like faded away. But the ones that were left, are like some good ones from Germany, good ones England, different parts of the world, and that became the third generation.
Okay.
Right? Okay, this is a new vanguard, right?
Yeah.
With the Toasters and the Untouchables. Untouchables, that's kind of like crossing over there.
Because there was a New York scene and a Bay Area scene?
And see, the thing is, those scenes were not very. The New York scene was it seemed like a little bigger because it was being run by Moon Records, Moon Ska. They're a label there, and they were signing bands and getting things going, and headed by Bucket, who was in the Toasters, and they'd be booking bands and running the whole thing. In the Bay Area, what was there, I think, was more a ska punk, like Gilman Square. Is that the place?
Pershing Square.
Whatever club where Green Day and all those bands came out of. That was nurturing a different. It was more punk. There was some ska, Operation Ivy, but it was more punk influence, right? And in LA, you had Hepcat, you had the Specs, you had the Federales, you had a couple other guys, but that was like in the late 80s. When I started doing shows, it was like 92.
Okay.
It was 92, and I was doing backyard parties, and by 93, yeah, literally a year later, I was already at the Hong Kong Cafe.
Oh wow.
I was doing shows at the Hong Kong Cafe, and then recording the shows at the Hong Kong Cafe. And then after, because I was already an engineer, recording the show, but because you always want to see how the room affects where the mics are and
Yeah.
how everything sounds, and because this is
So-
the best thing when you hear a live tape. You're like, dude, this was mixed live and it sounds on it.
Yeah.
Or the horns in your face or something. You
Yeah.
know, so I had a lot of practice doing that.
So you would record the shows like live recording?
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
And all these bands didn't have anything out at all because
Did you do video or just audio?
cameras are hard to come by.
Back then the cameras.
Not everyone had a
Yeah.
camera. You had a camera, like, whoa, bro,
Yeah.
how much you charging?
And they were probably big too, like
yeah, Bill bulky stuff, right? So I would record the bands, and if it sounded good, after a while, I'd say, hey, do you guys want to put this out?
Uh-huh.
And like, yeah, bro. And that's how I started doing the Black Pools compilations, where it was 3 songs from like 4 different bands. So
Uh-huh.
it's like 12 songs on cassette. And we did that one cassette.
Oh,
me and my
okay, you did
friend.
tapes.
We did the first time we did a tape, and then it sold like crazy. I was selling them out of Bleecker Bob's, and out here in Long Beach, a couple of different places. I forget the name. Velvet Underground.
Where did you get them made at?
A place called Tape Specialty.
Oh, okay.
They're like in the Valley,
Uh-huh.
North Hollywood. And yeah, man, we got like 500 made first, and then sold out. Oh
Wow.
my goodness! And then we got another 200 made, sold out again. We sold made another 200, sold out again. I'm like, oh, dude, that's cool. That's
Yeah.
cool. Let's next project, and then we did volume 2. But one of my distributors, because at the time I get a call from Sound of California,
Uh-huh.
Bill, Sound of California, he's a distributor out here in Orange County. He distributes punk and all that shit, right? And he tells me, hey man, I like your tape, man. I like to carry it.
Uh-huh.
I'm like, cool. And that's kind of like how it went all over the place.
Uh-huh.
Once he got it. Like,
Yeah.
I think he saw it at Beaker Bob's or something, right?
Yeah, because back then the distributors would just fax the record shops. Like
Yeah.
this is what we have. Order it. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so what he did is, he said, what you should do is put out a record. I said, like, what kind of? He goes, yeah, like a 45, man. 45 so good.
Yeah.
Imagine. I said, all right. So the next one I did, it was a 33. It was
Uh-huh.
on 33, and it was 4 bands. It was 2 traditional bands on one side and 2 punk ska bands on the other side.
Uh-huh.
It was Mobtown and Ocean 11 and Mule Ticket and Buckle 9 on the other side, right? And we did that on 33, and then we did a blue one. Yeah, we did a blue one, and I think we did like 500 of those, and that sold out.
Uh-huh.
And then we did a red one, and then we did like 250 or 3 of those. That sold out. I think that was it. Yeah, that was it. I think we did the black one. I'm not sure, but whatever.
Yeah.
They're all sold out. And then that was it. And then I'm like, oh man. So then I said, okay, you know what? A volume 2. We're gonna do a volume 2 cassette, but it's gonna have those songs. And then I did a volume 2 cassette with other bands, and then a volume 3. By the time I was on volume 3, recording these live bands,
Uh-huh.
I'm like, you know what? I want to put together like a real compilation CD. And that's when I started working on Ska Authentic. That took me like 2 years, like from 94 or late 93 to like 95 until
Uh-huh.
it came out. You know, putting it all together, everything, just designing it, finding the bands. If the bands didn't have anything, take them to the studio, record something exclusive for the place.
Did you do the artwork, or would you hire someone to do the artwork?
I did everything.
Really? Oh, wow.
Everything. The few times I reached out for somebody to help me,
Uh-huh.
I mean, their stuff was whack, or it's like
Uh-huh.
you're not following it. It's like you mentioned something earlier. They were trying to recreate what I already did.
Yeah.
Like, no, don't try to do what I want. I want you to do something different because I don't want it to look like what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I want a different flavor. And it was like a couple fails, and I'm like, you know what? I'll just keep doing my thing.
Yeah.
And so so I did all the artwork on everything I've done, except recently with some of the 7 inches. The band, I was like, if you guys have an idea, do it, man. Just it's less of a stress. It's less stress for me. You know? Relieve that part, and I don't want to deal with it. So, and then I did this. I started doing the compilation. I mean, during all this time, I'm still booking bands.
Uh-huh.
I'm booking bands by this time. By 95, I think I'm already at the Whiskey A Go
Oh, wow.
and the Roxy.
How many people would show up? Like 500?
Yeah, we'd sell out. I'd sell out.
Uh-huh.
I'd sell out. Not all the time, but
Yeah.
most of the time. I had to.
Was it mostly Latino, or was it mixed? Everybody?
It was everybody.
Yeah.
It was, but it was a big chunk of Latinos, but
Uh-huh.
it was maybe half, and then the rest either white, Asian,
Uh-huh.
black.
Just people who love punk.
Or no,
Yeah.
ska.
Ska. Okay.
Well, it was a big difference. People who went there were there for ska. They were not for punk, because the bands that were playing up there's nothing punk about those bands.
Yeah.
Those guys are dressed in suits, dude.
Okay.
And they sound like jazz musicians.
Yeah.
You know, so it's
So like ska, like the crowd would dance more than mosh, right? Like they're more.
Oh yeah, yeah. A lot more than.
Yeah.
I mean, you see videos. I have videos of all that stuff, and you see the whole crowd just like getting down.
Yeah, getting down. Yeah.
Every now and then, yeah, a big circle
Uh-huh.
gets together, but they're not moshing. They're just dancing.
Getting down.
Who's next? Let's go.
So like it was like a really
friendly.
positive vibe. It was
Oh yeah, it wasn't like the punk,
Uh-huh.
like the aggro bonehead.
Yeah,
punks.
aggro, yeah.
Actually, we did have some guys like that show up to some shows, and they would get their ass beat,
yeah.
and that would be the end of that. And well, I don't know. You know, you try to get aggressive with some people, and some people don't like aggressiveness.
Yeah.
It's not the place.
Yeah.
The music is not, conducive to your behavior.
Would you guys always hire security? Like, would you go that
Oh,
far?
hell yeah, bro. You never, man, all the time. Man, I could tell you some stories when the security wasn't here. Oh, hell would have broken loose. Crazy. Yeah. So then I started doing shows at all those different places, and still bringing bands into the studio. One of the craziest shows I did was right before I started doing the whiskey. I was doing shows at Las Palmas Theater, and then me and my partner Jason, we were dealing with the manager guy who seemed like an ex-rocker. He seemed like an ex-rocker, or he was a rocker at the time, right? But he was just like, I'm just doing what the owner wants to do, and he was just like, whatever, bro. But he seemed like a cool guy. But I remember we were gonna have The Business come in. Are you familiar with The Business?
No.
It's an oi band from England. Like, what you think of like those skinhead punk shows?
Yeah.
That's like what we've been, right? And I'm like, yeah, Las Palmas is cool because it's like a dive place, it's not like a nice place, so it's cool, it'll work out. And then we promoted it, everything was good. We sold me about 100 pre-sale tickets. We're like, we're good, everything's fine. And we show up, I show up to the gig first, right?
Yeah.
For sound check. And when I get there, it was like 6:30. And the doors are locked with a padlock and chains. I'm like, this is weird. And so I call, what's the guy's name? I forgot. Tony, I think. What's up, man? Oh, man, I got wind of the band. You can't have that show there. I said, what are you talking about? You can't do this last minute. Bro, these guys came in from England, bro.
Jeez.
Whoa. And I'm thinking, damn, dude. And so it was either going to be no show.
Yeah.
Or I don't know. We had to return money.
My God.
And we didn't do Ticketmaster. We did record stores. Sold out tickets for us. It's like, dude, this is a logistical nightmare all of a sudden, right? So we went crazy looking for. When I got to the place, there was a phone booth. That was funny. I remember using a phone booth.
Yeah, 25 cents.
So the guy, he tells me no. So then I'm thinking, what am I going to do? So I think I called the Anti-Club. My friend Jay, he's like, call them, see if they got a space.
Is that in Hollywood or?
Yeah, well, right there on Melrose, right? Yeah, it's Hollywood, right? So I called them, and I had worked with them before, right? And they're like, because I brought ska shows there.
Anti-Club, is that on Vermont?
It's on Melrose.
But Melrose and like.
Yeah, like as soon as you get off the freeway, off the 101, you make a left, and it's like to your left.
Oh wow!
It's something else now, but yeah. And they said, so I get out of the phone booth. I remember getting out of the phone. It's like, damn, bro, this is insane. We'll have to go to the Anti-Club and see what happens. So, as I'm walking, guys from the opening bands are in the parking lot. He's like, what's going on? I was like, I don't know. We're going to see if we can have this show or not. And one guy's like, if there's no show, there's going to be repercussions.
Oh, shit.
I'm like, oh, shit. Already, man. Show's not even started. It's already getting wrong. So we rushed over to the Anti-Club, and I started talking to the lady. I forgot her name. Started talking to her. I said, listen, man, here's what we got. Here's the situation. We got about 100 tickets sold, right? I don't want you to take any people's money. Well, she was fortunate because she said, "Oh, the show we had canceled because it was a touring show and they had a flat tire or whatever, and they canceled." I'm like, "Oh, perfect."
Shit.
So we moved. Our whole show moved in there, right? So I said, "Listen, there's about 100 tickets sold. You don't take any money out of those 100 tickets that are sold. I'm gonna give you $5 out of those. That way you get paid."
How did you let everybody know that it was going to be a different venue?
Oh, my older brother was posted up at Las Palmas telling everybody, hey, Anti-Club.
Go, yeah.
Everybody knows what Anti-Club's at. It was like a punk bar, right? So the problem was that the girl at the Anti-Club, the lady at the Anti-Club, instead of her just saying, who's got tickets? Because I said, there's people in line with all these tickets. I said, let those in 1st. And then after that, then you charge, right? But those already have tickets. They're already paid.
Yeah.
Don't charge other people because you might not have the space. And then people are going to get upset that they don't get in. Clear as day, like I'm telling you. First thing she starts doing, you know tickets? It's $10. I said, hey, get the people with tickets first. He goes, I know what I'm doing. I'm like, At that point, I wanted to talk to the business. I said, hey, listen, okay, we got you this time. This is your slot. The other bands, you're on at this time. You're on. Everybody got everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody got their time slot. And I was like, cool. And then I told Jason, because Jason was the guy who actually booked the band, right? And I was the guy who provided the venue. We work like that.
Yeah.
So I said, Jason, I don't know what's going to happen here, man. I know we owe the band some money. I don't know how much. I know we get them a deposit, but we'll take care of that later. Right now, I don't feel safe. I said, I don't feel safe. And I'll be honest with you, I think we should just leave and let this play out because she's not paying attention to me. And he's like, oh, we can't do that. I said, why? He's like, because. I said, you'll talk to the agent later, man. You'll get money to the agent later. He was like, no, because I promised them a case of beer. And he goes, the case of beer's in the car. I'm like, well, let's get the case of beer and give it to them. And then we're out. And he's like, all right. I said, because what are we going to do here, man? What am I going to do here when people come asking me for money and I'm going to argue with her and I don't want that. I just avoid it, have it out with her later, and that's it. This is the best. All right. So we're leaving. Right, man, let's go to my car. It's parked across the street. Then we'll get the beer and drop it off here. Walking across the street. No, we'll walk out and there's a line. There's a line.
Oh my gosh.
And then someone recognizes me or Jason or somebody and they're like, there's a promoter.
Oh,
there's a promoter. I said, don't turn around. Just keep walking. We jumped in the car, ran around the block, came back behind their U-Haul, went, knocked on their, wherever they're at, their van and said, hey, man, here's your beer. You know, we'll see you later. And they're happy they got the beer.
Yeah.
But then we just bailed out. The next day she calls me. She goes, why'd you leave? I said, because you weren't accepting people. You know there was a ride here. I said, I don't care.
Oh my God.
I don't care. I told you what you were supposed to do. You didn't do that. Take the people with the tickets. They were right because people couldn't get in that had tickets.
Did the band ever go on?
Yeah.
Okay.
I wish people. I wonder who took pictures of that because man, that was a. I'm glad it went on. I'm glad the show went on.
Yeah.
But man, if it didn't, there would be repercussions, like that cat said.
So, like, did you continue to do more shows like that afterwards, or was that like a nightmare that?
No, after that, I think we did a couple more shows at Las Palmas, and then after that, I got called. I got opportunity to do shows at the Whiskey, but it was by myself. So I started doing shows at the Whiskey by myself, and then.
And that's still ska.
It was still ska, and then. Well, the interesting thing about the Whiskey was the sound guy at the Las Palmas. He said, "Hey man, you're bringing a nice crowd. You know, I think it would work out at the Whiskey." I'm like, "Bro, they want a lot of rent money and they want deposits." He goes, "Nah, we'll see what we can do." I said, "Well, give me a date," and he got me a date. And he's like, "What bands you gonna book?" And I'm like, "I'm gonna book the cream of the crop. Basically, all the bands I'm always booking, but they're all gonna be at one show. There's gonna be Yeska, Mobtown, the Allentons, and like two other bands. I forgot who it was. I think the Flyers Up or something."
Were you like the top ska promoter, or
Yeah.
were there other? Yeah, I think you were.
There was other guys who tried to do stuff, but again, they were trying to recreate. They book the same show. It's like the same show, bro. Whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever. But I was the only guy doing it, and aside from like Golden Voice, where they would bring in like the special, like the big shows, international shows, or John Panel. John Panel was doing stuff out of Orange County, and also 98 Posse was doing stuff out of Riverside. But in LA, there was nobody who else. No, I kind of was doing the Whiskey, the Roxy, BB King's, Alligator Lounge, the Troubadour. I had all that running, right?
Yeah.
And then I was doing like 3 shows a week. I was doing every Wednesday, and then Friday, and then maybe a Sunday, or then every Thursday, and then every week was like 2-3 shows. It was like crazy. So yeah, I was doing a lot of shows. And then
This is in the late '90s.
this is 90. This is from 95 to 98. Those 3 years.
So it's just a really busy 3 years. Yeah.
Like every week,
Wow.
something's going on. Something's going on every week.
That's the way it was with the jungle, like techno scene and the rave. Like every damn week.
You look back now and this is a blur.
Yeah.
Like, bro, what happened? Yeah, every week we were doing something. Every week was something different thing, right? And yeah, so I was doing all those shows, and then I one thing I always was doing was a show every year. I like to do the West Coast Intensified West Coast Ska Festival, which I thought to myself, you know, I just get bands all up and down the West Coast and bring them all together for one night, and boom, but the place has to have 2 stages, right? So I would do it at the Raza Hamay in Montebello, and I did 2 of them there. It worked out like a charm, great. And then the third one, I'm like, nah, I'm gonna do the Whiskey and the Roxy. And that's when I did the Whiskey and the Roxy. 18 bands, 1 ticket got you to both, and you can just go back and forth. If you want to see one band, you got to make sure the schedule is right.
Yeah,
you'll see them whenever. But the way I got into the Whiskey was that guy, the sound guy. He got me in there, and I remember they're like, "What bands are gonna book?" And I told them, and they're like, "Who the hell are these bands?" Right? And then the next question is like, "How many tickets do you need for them to sell?" I'm like, "They don't sell tickets." Like, they don't sell tickets. How are you going to make money? I said, the kids, the children's going to make me the money. No, but I'm like, I said, these bands have a following. You know, the bands have a following. They don't need to sell tickets. People come.
Yeah.
And because you know how the Whiskey is, right?
So the venue wanted the band to sell tickets and pull people in.
Yeah, to pay for the rent.
Yeah,
because they're thinking, dude, you're gonna get your ass out because rent's $3,500. You know, you get asked out. You better have the bands sell tickets to make up for it because these bands, I don't know them, and if I don't know them, or they don't know them, if they don't know, how do we know people are gonna come in? And if they don't come in, your ass is grass, and they've probably seen so many times like that. They're like, bro, you have to pay the money up front, right? So they wanted me to pay a deposit up front. And I'm like, I haven't paid. And the sound guy's like, I'll vote for him. I'm like, all right. And so I didn't do no deposit. I didn't do no tickets for nobody, right? And sure enough, probably like 3 weeks in, you know, about a week before the show, do you want to put more tickets on sale? Because you already sold out.
Oh, wow.
How many sold out? You already sold out 350 tickets. What's capacity? 450. I'm like, sure, put another 50 on. And then that night, we put them on. And then that night, it sells out. And then they asked me, hey, we could get more people in if you want, but out of everyone that comes in, we're going to get a bigger chunk. I'm like, I'm going to get whatever you want. I don't care. Take it, man. I'm not greedy about that shit.
Yeah.
But they're used to dealing with a lot of that shit, right? Take it.
Yeah.
So that's what they did. And then after that, it's like, hey, what other night you want? What other night? And then I was there for a while. And then the Roxy. And then, yeah, I was doing shows up and down everywhere.
Yeah. Everywhere.
And that's where I kind of got like, oh my God. Other clubs see, oh, dude, I'm going to bring all this. And they just want a carbon copy. I'm like, you can't do that every weekend. You can't do that. It's like, dude, you'll have a band or whatever, but you can't expect to have this giant show happen every weekend. Yeah. You know, it'd be nice, but no, it just doesn't. People don't come out for the same band every weekend.
Would you would you put up posters by the freeways and all that stuff? Because I remember back in the day, like we used to go to this place called Atlantic Printing over there, close to East LA, and we would get those, you know, like those old school posters that had the multicolor.
Yeah, you know, when I was doing the high energy parties, we'd go to Lions Printing up in Pico Rivera.
Okay.
Right?
Oh yeah, that's another one. Yeah, and dude, that place was smelly. Like you could smell
it was small
ink.
too.
Yeah.
Like,
you walk in just breathing the ink. Yeah.
So I just go there. But when I started doing all this stuff, my friend Ray, my partner, he had a friend who worked at a print shop in Compton Litho or something like that. But he was a designer and he did all that shit, right? And that's, if you notice, you know, back then the flyers were all cut and paste. But I started using this guy's service. I'm like, dude, I don't want to do the same cut and paste flyers because they look like all the other flyers. Yeah. I want you to put some razzle dazzle in it. He's like, all right, cool. How do you want? And he'd show me fonts, and I'd sit there with him. Okay, do it like this, do it like this, do it like this, okay, like this. And I'm thinking, man, I gotta learn this program, so I'm gonna have to tell him so, because my mind is working faster than his fingers. You know, so like, you know, so then finally, he would give me all these designs, and then that's how we started doing stuff up until like, I'm gonna say 95. 95 is when I got a hold of I got a hold of Word Perfect. Oh wow. Word Perfect, and Word Perfect had a little program called Word Draw. Where you could draw stuff in there, right? So I started making some flyers in there. It was not easy. Yeah. But hey, you made it work if you knew. All right, cool. And then a homie of mine that I used to work with, he's like, I seen the flyers you're making, man. You know there's a program for that. I'm like, really? He was like, yeah, it's called Corel Draw.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? Is that like Adobe Illustrator? It was like when these programs are barely coming out. He goes, no, man, it's different. So he goes, I got a pirate copy. And he gave it to me, right? And put it in. I'm like, wow, bro. And then I started learning that. And that's why at that point, my 96, the flyer started looking different. Because I started making them myself. And, but yeah, it was like up until like 98, 99.
Yeah.
Up until 98, 99, everything's fine, bro. Checks in the mail, bands playing, everything.
What was the name of your event? Like, did it have a name? Like one name?
No, it was just called Steady Beat Presents.
Okay.
But
so you were already Steady Beat.
Oh yeah. Because like in the early '90s, when it was me and my partner Ray, in like like 94, 95, he kind of cut out. He got a job, and his girlfriend was pregnant. He had a lot of things on his mind. So, and we were called the Blackpool at the time. And then at that point, we just decided. I said, bro, I'll just do my own thing. I'll call it Steady Beat. He's like, fine, that's cool. And then boom, it was Steady Beat. And then but the big shows I would have like Skaboom, Steady Beat
Catchy.
Presents, Skabawa.
Yeah.
It's the big beat. Something like that. I mean, the flyers were up there. And it was funny because sometimes I'd be like, man, what should I call this show? Oh man, I'd go for a drive and it hit me. Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
That's it. So yeah, that was a good thing until like 98, 99. Napster hit. Napster took out all the record shops, took out my money flow, because that's how I was making money, because I was selling CDs to distributors and records, and then they were selling to shops. Shops were selling them. There was no more shops.
So like you were pressing 45s this whole time? And
No, CDs.
Oh, okay. Wow.
CDs.
Okay.
CDs. Yeah. CDs.
Like ska?
Ska.
Yeah. Wow.
Ska. Yeah, ska CDs.
And I mean, like punk, like I know punk songs can be really short, like under a minute sometimes, right?
Well, see, the kind of ska I was doing is not like punk ska. Think more like Jamaican jazz. I was just listening to a song the other day. The intro is like 2 minutes. 2 minutes before a guy sings.
Wow. Yeah.
And you're like, what? And you listen to it, it's like, this doesn't sound like a ska song. It sounds more like a reggae song, because
Like
it's
tropical?
rock steady. It has like horns, but it sounds like reggae. It doesn't sound Cuban. It doesn't sound Jamaican. It sounds more like maybe Caribbean.
Yeah.
Just like a little
Party time?
Yeah, kind of like, hey man, this is a good vibe. What is this? I don't know. This
I
sounds
don't
good,
know.
but yeah. So then basically all that ended, man. It was weird. It was weird because.
And I mean, did the whole scene kind of end also? Like.
Yes and no. Yes and no. It kind of like. See, because the scene, like every scene goes in cycles.
Yeah.
Certain people that are doing certain things in the scene, they get older, they get married, they drop out of the scene.
Yeah.
That leaves a vacuum. Someone else comes in, or maybe no.
Yeah.
When that no comes in, it's like, well, what happened?
Yeah.
That club's not happening anymore. What am I going to do anymore? And I can do something different. And that's kind of what was happening. I mean, at least to me. I kind of felt like, oh man, the generation is turning. The kids are not kids anymore. They're grown-ups, and they're not coming to the shows anymore. And I don't see any new kids filling in those blanks, because I saw the shows kind of like the capacity. I mean, not the capacity, the attendance were dropping. So then in 2000, I'm going to say 2000. Well, I was still doing shows up until 2004. 2004, I just decided to take a break. Take a break because it was getting harder to do what was easier before, and I'm like, this.
Yeah.
It's not working. It's not working the way it should be. Well, not should be. It's not working for me. And where I wanted to be. So, and plus, my girlfriend was pregnant. So I'm like, oh man, right? So I had to get a job. But I got a cool job. I got a job that, used my brain, man. And then from then I got another job, and then all that time I was thinking, man, I gotta get out of this. I gotta do my own thing. But, I never lost sight of I got to do my own thing, no matter what I was doing and how much money I was making. Because at the last job I had, I was making pretty good money. People would be like, "Why'd you quit?" I said, "Because it's a job."
Yeah,
it's a job, and it's fine. But money is not happiness for me.
Yeah,
that's why I quit. Obviously, you don't feel the same way, because you're like, "How come you don't keep making that money?" It's because it's a job, bro, and it's someone else's money, someone else's job. You're getting that money, but still, it's a different. Until you're there, then you understand.
Yeah,
right? It's like. You're your own boss. So finally, that happened. But even while I was working, doing all that stuff, I was always doing other things, looking for other opportunities that were going to take me away from not working anymore. As a matter of fact, at one point, I was doing so many clubs. Yeah, I was doing like 3 clubs. Because I remember listening to one of my radio shows I was doing. And I'm like, if you're not, you could catch me Saturday here, you could catch me Tuesday here, you maybe Wednesday. If not, you catch me next. I'm like, whoa, dude, slow down.
Yeah.
What's wrong with you? I'm like, if people are listening to this guy, it's like, this guy playing everywhere. But yeah, I had Babalu the Boogaloo, that club. I had Barrio Funky. And then I had a Scandal in Chinatown. And then every time I'd get asked to do guest spots, guest DJ sets, I'm like, yeah, I was like hustling a lot and thinking, you know what, maybe I could get it to a point where I could just make this could make me enough money, or I just quit my job.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a different type of hustle. It's a night hustle.
Yeah.
But I get to sleep in. I get to do anything in the day. I'm not looking out the window from your job. You're doing your thing. And you work 3 or 4 nights a week. Oh, I don't know. I'm thinking maybe, I don't know. And then COVID hit.
Oh shit.
I'm like, oh shit, nothing's gonna happen now. That was weird when that happened. COVID hit.
Were you pressing up records that whole time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing was stopping me. I had a job, but the job I had wasn't a job that like, oh, the job's gonna consume me. No, I made sure it was on the job like, bro, it gives me time to do what I want to do. And that's basically what it was. So, yeah, I was still pressing records.
And this is all ska stuff you're pressing up?
No. Like I said, I took a break in around 2004, right? And then I just concentrated family life. And to be honest, from 2004 to 2008, I became a different person. A different person. I didn't have anything to do with ska. I didn't have anything to do with music. Literally, little by little, I looked at music as like, that's my past life. That's what I did before. That's something different now. Because now I'm a family man, and now I'm doing this. I'm working for this company, and I'm a manager there. And it's a different life, right? But then you get consumed by that life, and you realize, this is not what you want. This is what other people think you want.
Yeah.
This is what you're led to believe in life, that this is a good... No, bro.
Yeah.
I don't want you to wake up at 5 or 6 in the morning. Hell, come on. There has to be a better way. So, really by 2007, well, what happened during that time from 2004 to 2008, I started going back to school. I went back to school, and I studied international marketing. Because I wanted to open up import-export business, right? Like George Costanza.
Yeah.
No, but seriously, I'm like, you know what? There's a lot of money to be made in the import-export business. They import a lot of cheap shit and sell it here for expensive because they can't get it here. Just like records. Buy records from England, bring them here. People are like, what? Or anywhere.
Yeah.
Like, oh, German press. What's it doing here? Oh, it's worth more. Oh, yeah, it is. So, what I started doing is, I had met some artists from Oaxaca. I mean, it was weird because there was a couple different things happening. I'm like, it's meant to be then, because this is happening, right? Because I had a guy who was writing a zine in Oaxaca. He was a ska zine, and he was also doing shows there. And he was buying
all the way in
CDs
Oaxaca?
Yeah, in Oaxaca. Well, he was buying it from a guy in Mexico City. But then the guy in Mexico City passed, and then he started buying it from me. Or something happened, and he's like, dude, can I get him direct from you instead of having to buy him from Oaxaca, from Mexico guy? I said, well, then you're going to have to be paying for the shipping and all that. He's like, that's fine. So I started sending him like $150 worth of goods. And then he'd send me $150 like 2 weeks later. And then I'd send him another $150. And then in one of those times, he didn't send me $150. I said, hey, bro, I'm kind of running tight. But can you send me some more records? Because I have a show coming up, and I'll make it up. I said, all right. So I sent that. Hey, what's up? Hey, bro. Things got a little tight, a little complicado. So I said, oh, man. He goes, but listen, man, I have a friend. I said, oh, wow. At this point, when you're losing, I'm like, what do you got? Anything, I'll take whatever. He goes, I have a friend, he makes hojalata. It's basically punch tin work, like that.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
All that. And I said, really? I said, he goes, yeah, man, if you want, I'll send you some samples, and I'll pay off my debt that way for you. I'm like, all right, cool, man, send me some samples. So he sends it to me, I'm like, oh, this is cool, bro. Check that one out right there. That right there, you see it? That box?
Oh, this box,
yeah. It's those little guys up there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he sent a lot of that stuff, and then, man,
like all handmade.
Oh yeah,
it's
it's
cool.
incredible, right? And then And then I said, yeah, man, bring them over. And I got a bunch of these. And remember there was a shop in San Pedro, in Portugal, called Luna y Sol or something like that?
Yeah.
So I went down there and I said, hey, you guys interested? Like, yeah, we'll buy it. And they bought it. I'm like, hey. So I called the guy, hey, bro, send some more. So he sent a bunch more. And then it just became a thing, bro, where I'm like, bro, I could just move. So what I started doing, this is weird. I think, you're crazy, bro. What the hell? So I went down to Oaxaca, right? I met the guy, and he showed me samples. I said, I want to order 10 of these, 5 of these. This and I was like, I'm like international commerce, man.
Yeah.
And then I hired a taxi guy. I said, take me over where they make los alebrijes. Oh yeah, because this goes back to this artist I met in LA one time, and he was making alebrijes, right? And his name was Jesus Sosa Calvo, and he had a book there. And he was showing off the book, and I looked at the book, and he's in the book, and it was the Smithsonian Institute museum book or whatever. And he's in there because he did a cat or whatever. And I'm like, wow, this is you, huh? He goes, yeah, man. He goes, I make these. This and I said, man, this is cool. He goes, you have a car? I said, you have a car? He goes, yeah, he gave me a car. I said, listen, man, I'll go see you in Oaxaca maybe in about a month or two. He looked at me for real. So I said, yeah, man, I'll go see you. I'll call you. He's like, okay, I'll see you there. Okay. I bought a little animal from him, man. And I'm like, yeah, man, this is working out. This guy, Paco, the tin work, these animals, man, this is crazy, right? I'm like, what else they make in Oaxaca? And they make another thing called barro negro, which is black clay, right? Which is, it's cool, it's crazy, it's black, it's clay, and they have all these crazy things they make out of them, right? And it's shiny and everything, and people would like that stuff, right? So when I went to Oaxaca and I bought all that shit and I brought it back here and I started selling it at farmers markets and places like that. It was making some money, but then I realized it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work, man. It's a lot of work. And then around 2007 my father passed, and then that just, it was life changing, where I was like, fuck this, fuck that, fuck, I don't care. And now it's just like, I don't know, man. It was like, and during all that time from 2004 to 2008, every now and then I'd go to a show, a ska show, and I'd see friends that, bro, how come you're not doing shows? Where's your show?
Yeah.
How come? I'm like, oh, bro, it's different place.
Life, yeah.
I'm in a different place right now. Oh, don't worry about it. I'll get back into it, whatever. I'm like, I don't know when. I had all these people asking me, when are you going to do shows? And I'm like, well, the only, in my back of my mind, you know what? The only time I'm going to do a show is if someone says, here's money, book a band and DJ, and that's it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I don't want to worry about, am I going to make the door? That's a lot of stress, man.
Yeah.
So that actually did happen. They said, here's money, and me and my friend started this club called Club Fiyah in Lomita, and we did that.
Reggae club, like it was reggae.
Yeah, the night, I mean, it was like a biker bar, whatever. But that night it was a reggae bar. That night it was reggae all day, reggae ska. Because it was just not DJs. It was like the DJ was like the side. Well, we're just gonna fill in the blanks while the band takes a break. Okay. But the bands were all reggae bands. They were all reggae bands.
They were all local.
Local reggae bands, bro, trying to get somewhere. And those bands are pretty big now, you know.
Like which ones?
Who played there, man?
Are these like more like
Rise Roots?
Okay.
They played there. Bro, a lot of these bands play there, bro. It's crazy. When there were nobody, but that was what it was for, because they do, it's $150 and free beer. You don't need a PA. We got a mic. We got 2 mics. It's all. Yeska played there, but it was like not Yeska, but because it was missing some guys, but the most of them. A lot of heads played there. It was
also cool. Motley, like that was later.
Yeah, it was actually one of the founders of Ozomali was with Yeska and played there.
Oh wow! What about Quinto Sol?
No, they never played there. They never played there. But yeah, a lot of there's what's the name of the band? Spliff. You ever heard of that band? Some Spliff.
No.
They played there. Bad Apples. They played there. A bunch of bands, right?
Yeah.
So that went on for a while, and I was like, cool. And then I was like getting back into the rhythm and stuff, right? And then while I was doing that, the Deliriums played there. And then when I was doing that, Persephone reached out from Ocean 11. She goes, hey, listen, I see that you're doing shows again. There's a club in Chinatown that if you want to collaborate, me, you, and Malik can collaborate on this club. I'm like, sure, I'll go down. I'll talk to the guy. And it was at the Grand Star. So when I got there, Malik was there. Persephone wasn't there. I think she had something. And I said, well, Malik, what's the deal? What do you want to do? He goes, hey, man, run with it. I'm like, oh, okay, so I'm running with it. So I worked it out, and then I called the club Intensified. And I did a Sunday night there for a while.
Did you do downstairs or upstairs?
It was upstairs.
Okay.
And downstairs.
Okay.
Both.
Yeah.
Because they were like, do you think you have a lot of people? And it depends. Why? Well, you could use downstairs.
Uh-huh.
And I'd be like, maybe not. We'll go downstairs.
Yeah, because my friend Daniel, his uncle owns that venue.
Tony?
Well, my friend Daniel, yeah.
The Kwan brothers?
Uh-huh, yep.
The Kwan brothers.
Yeah, those guys. Yeah.
That's them.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and I started doing shows there, doing the whole reggae thing for a good year and a half, and then during that time, there's a lot of reggae clubs happening. A lot of people doing reggae. And
yeah, like Q-Boy Productions.
Well, yeah, there was a lot of that
Yeah.
stuff. Like, and then I was like, man, there's no really Latin night. There's no Latin night, but there was this Latin night called Descarga out of those cities.
And wasn't there like the conga room was happening already?
No, yeah, but it wasn't like how can I explain it? It didn't have a
And there was
vibe on it.
Fado, like there was a salsa night at Fado, I think.
Yeah, I don't know about any of that. But then I started a Barrio Funky. I'm like, you know, it's gonna be like Latin soul, Boogaloo, Salsa, and Cumbia, and because I'm like, I'm just gonna do a Latin night, right? And I started up on a Saturday. Yeah, they started giving me Saturdays, and then I did that, and that went on for like 8 years. We did that for 8 years. And
From when to when? Like 2008?
2000, I'm gonna say 2009, 10 to 2018, 17.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, that went on for.
That's a good run.
That is, because I remember we had our 8-year anniversary.
And that was a weekly or?
No, it was a monthly.
Oh, good.
Every
yeah,
second
weekly's,
Saturday.
oof.
Forget that, bro. Hell no. So then, yeah, and then during all this time, you know, once I started doing the Barrio Funky, it was a Latin club. So a lot of Latin bands. And then that's when I'm like, okay, let's go get this band. I like it. Let's go record in the studio. Let's put out records. So then it started up again. But instead of being ska, it was more Latin. Although I was still booking ska bands and ska shows. And I would, you know, I still work with ska bands. Like the
just like one-off events and stuff.
Yeah. But, you know, I would still like, you know, for the label, I always like, you know, I don't want it all. I always want to come back to the Ska-Reggae. So I was like, because that's where we started. That's what we're doing. And like the last 3 releases I've done have not been Ska-Reggae. They've been Latin. They've been, you know, soul, whatever. And that's why I recorded the Stadiums. And we're putting out a 7-inch probably next year. And that's a reggae ska. Cool. It's a good one. It's a good one. I'm happy about it.
Yeah.
It's a good song. Yeah. So I'm excited about that. So that's what I'm working on right now. I'm working on mixing those guys. And I just put out the other record, the one that you did a mix for, right?
Yeah.
That one. And then I'm mixing right now the Alex Santos. He's doing 2 songs. It's Sans Propulsion and Safari. We're mixing those right now. And then the
so
Back
this
Burner.
is still on Steady B. Like everything you've released has always been just on that label.
Yeah. Well, everything. Yeah, I've done. I've produced for other people. I've gone to the studio and they're like, "I want this," and let's do it. And then they run with it, and I don't know what happens to it. They put it out. I don't know, but
yeah.
Matter of fact, the other day I ran into a song. I'm like, "Oh shit! I produced this. It's on Spotify. Hey, let's see if my name's on there."
Credits.
But yeah.
Yeah, like yesterday I came here and I guess you were in Long Beach, but I spoke with Donald. And
Oh,
I
yeah,
guess,
yeah.
like I guess do you guys record there or just mix down there?
No. He owns a studio that we record. It's his studio, but we record everything there. We record, mix, everything.
So you just mic everything up.
Yeah. We do it all there, and you listen to the results. Like, hey, sounds good. Doesn't sound bad. Might not have that sound of other studios of that high, but I don't want that.
Yeah.
That's people. Why come? Because I don't. Preference. Preference. You can hear that everywhere.
Yeah.
I want kind of not lo-fi, but you know, just
just a certain sound.
not excessive. You know, where people turn it to 11.
Yeah.
Everything to 11.
Yeah.
Make it as loud as you can. Bandwidth, all of it. Fill it all.
Yeah.
Hey, come on, bro. Really?
Yeah.
Like that, what is it, 808 Bandits, what are you talking about?
Yeah, like the 808 stuff from ATL.
Yeah.
But so So these days you're not really doing events, right? Like your record shop is.
Well, yeah. Once I decided to get the record shop, I knew I was going to kind of like taper off on events, right? Because opening a record shop is not like turnkey. It's like you have to provide it. You have to provide, get it filled up with inventory and good stuff, and always maintain it, right?
So like you opened up this record shop in 2019.
2021.
Oh wow, 2020.
It's been
Damn,
2 years.
It seems like it seems longer to me. Like just because it looks so developed, you know, like when you see it,
That's
like, it
what
looks
I'm
like
saying.
it's been here for years.
That's
you know?
what I mean. It's like you need to fill it up constantly to make it like okay, it's where it has to be versus like
Yeah, I mean, like real quick, I'm gonna turn this around, but I mean, when you look at the record shop, it looks like a record shop that's been here since like the 80s or something. It just, you know what I mean? Like usually a record shop doesn't look like this when it's still young.
Yeah,
But
no.
but like, did you have like tons of records ready to sell like before?
Yeah, no. When well, see, the idea about the record shop was when I left my last job. When I decided, okay, this is it. I have enough to do whatever I want to do. If I don't want to do anything for a few years, I don't have to. But I don't want to just do nothing, you know. So I wanted to open up a restaurant, record shop, studio, live performance space, right, all in one. But that was hard. It took a lot of money, took a lot of time.
Did you try doing that?
I looked into it. I hired a consultant even to help me out with you know everything else, and it just they laid it out. It can be done.
Yeah.
But I was like,
It's you know, but like
I don't have that many resources, and I'm not really looking for partners.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
and from what I've seen, because I'm like I've always just been the DJ,
Yeah.
but what I've seen like behind the scenes is that it's just unpredictable because you never know how the crowd, like, are they going to keep coming? Like, you know, are they going to keep supporting? And that's the mystery of trying to
Yeah.
keep it going.
So my whole thing was, oh, I guess I can't do that because at the same time, my brother wanted to open a pizza place, right? I'm thinking it would be perfect if we could put it together. But what happened was I ended up. It was a time thing for me because I thought, you know what? The longer I don't do anything, you know, I still have bills. This money I have is gonna. I could go for 2 years or 3 years and not do a damn thing, but the money's gonna disappear.
Yeah.
And then I'm not gonna have any money to do anything.
Yeah.
Right? What's happening? Right? So I'm like, well, let's get this money and do something with it now. So I looked around different things. Look actually the India room. I wanted to look at that to open as the bar, but I was like maybe about a month late with my plan because the guy's like, it's already rented, it's already whatever. So I said, okay, cool. So the next thing was a record shop. Why? Because I'm a DJ and I make records.
Yeah.
And I go to record shops all the time, and I see how, and I have friends that own record shops, and they're like, things are good, things are blowing up. I'm moving into a bigger place, or I'm like,
Yeah.
wow, so things are good, right? So I had conversations to the point where they're like, yeah, I think you'd be a good guy for record shop because you know a lot of shit. You've done everything. I'm like, all right, cool. So that's when I started reaching out to friends that are record dealers and so forth. You got boxes that you're looking to move. You got this and that. Yeah, this and that. Yeah, I spent 15 to 20 G's maybe on records, going around just like
Gathering, yeah.
Then maybe after that another 2 G's here, another 2, because you don't stop, man. You don't you don't stop. You're
Yeah.
okay, you're like, hold on, man, you have enough records. And see, you see it here. You see boxes
Yeah.
that I bought that I still haven't gone through.
Yeah.
You know, they're in there all over the place that I even haven't gone through yet. So that's what I'm saying. You don't stop buying records.
Yeah, they're all over the place. I mean, I think your record shop is the only shop that I see where there's tons of stuff that still has to.
Yeah, I still got to go through it. You know, it just
Yeah.
says, you know, they're like labeled like these are $5 to $10 records. They're like
Yeah.
$15 to $20, whatever. But they're still in there. Why? Because the bins are full.
Yeah.
So yeah, I ended up doing all that, and that's what's been keeping me busy. Just like keep everything going. And I think the events I'm doing now are events that I do here at the shop because
Yeah.
they're free. And usually it's a band that I know, or a band from the label, or a band, you know, that wants to do something. and they'll bring their people. My brother will sell the pizzas, and we'll have a nice little time. Although I do want to do, because I'm in a right now I'm in a good position to actually do a showcase for the label. Because a lot of the bands are still together. They're still doing things. They're still playing. Matter of fact, that phone call I just took right now before was Spaghetti Cumbia. They're on my label.
Yeah.
They're like, hey man, we need a DJ to fill in. We don't have a lot of money. I said that's never been an issue. Come on, you're on my label. I'm your label, bro. I'll do it for free if I needed to. And he's like, well, this is the deal. Just come fill in, bring your turntable. I'm like, it's on, bro. And that's how that works. Just like them, they'd come down here too. It's just that they're they're saying you have a Saturday or their hours are all different. I'm like, don't worry about it. It's all good. But yeah, those are the events. But I would like to have like a showcase where all these bands, I can do them all in one place. That is, how many bands? Oh, they're going to be like 6 bands. Why? Well, they're all good bands. They're no fillers. It's just like the first band's going to be mad because he's like, why am I playing first?
I mean, like, you also work with that venue on Pacific, right? What's it called? Like that? It's like a bar, and they have a venue in the back. It's a bar, like they have a punk little record.
Oh, the Sardine.
Sardine, yeah.
The Sardine, yeah. I worked with them. But their place, I mean, they're good. The place, they just expanded. Todd just told me they just expanded to the other room, and I got to go check it out. It's like the other room gives you more space and so forth, and that's probably where I would like to do a showcase.
I think it would be cool to do like a record show there, because it's perfect. Like they have the bars, so that people get very friendly with their money,
A record show, huh?
Yeah, like, it would be cool right there. And like they have the outdoor back area.
I could do that. Yeah, we could do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, I'm thinking of doing that. Actually, I was talking to the people over at the Paramount in LA. One of the things about doing a showcase out here, and it's just because I live here. People from LA have a hard time coming down here.
Yeah.
If you do a showcase in LA, and people are like, oh, I live in Montebello, I'll go to LA. Oh, I live in the Valley, I'll go to LA. Oh, I live in Gardena, I'll go to LA. San Pedro?
Yeah. Oh. Even Long Beach, yeah. People from LA do not like coming down here.
You know how they are, those LA people. But yeah, that's me. I personally, I would like to have it more centralized in LA. Just LA, man, because
it's just central.
And nothing against San Pedro, not against San Pedro, but when you have a show here, people more look at it like it's a local show for them.
Yeah.
No, man, we're having people from all over. It's like,
yeah,
you just want that extra. Whatever. Yeah. So yeah, that's the only thing. I haven't been doing big shows. I think the last show I did was with the Illusions. Yeah, the Illusions at El Cid with with Jackie Mendez. Yeah. Yeah, but I haven't. Yeah. My focus is not there.
Yeah.
My focus is the shop right
now. Yeah, the shop now.
Shop, because
And also DJing. Like I noticed you've been DJing more. Like like it seems like it's.
Yeah, I mean the DJ thing. That's always fun. That's fun for me. That's my outlet. I get excited.
Because you just played at the Ace Hotel. Like, what did you play there? Like you said, you're playing disco, like Latin disco. Or?
Yeah, I get to stretch out and play stuff that obviously, what I like is like the crowd likes it because I see they're bopping their head like wow.
Yeah.
Cool. And then my DJ homie's like, "What the hell is that, bro?"
Yeah.
But it's.
So was the crowd more like just chilling, like lounging type of thing?
Yeah, and, there's a pool there too. It's like a waiting pool and stuff.
Yeah, it's like a smaller pool, right?
Yeah, but it was a lounge. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's cool. It's not a big deal.
I think I went there. Yeah.
But it's that's a different vibe, and it's cool because sometimes you get to play records there that you can't play out loud at other places because other places there's like a certain tempo you gotta follow.
Did you just take 45s or?
It's always 45s.
Oh wow!
It's always 45s.
Yeah.
It's been I don't know last time I brought 12 inches.
Do you take your own needles?
Yeah, I always take my needles, my headphones, and my record adapters. But I got to the point where I didn't need a record adapters because you lose them, so I use my fingers. But now I've made my own record adapters, so I carry these. And if I forget them, that's cool. Hey.
Yeah.
If someone wants to steal them, that's cool. Hey.
Little promotion.
Yeah, I know, huh? A little, what's that? U-turn promotion.
Yeah.
They don't know they're promoting.
Yeah.
Like, look what I stole, man. Thanks.
Do you also have a Steady Beat Discogs? Like,
yeah. There's actually one for the label that just sells stuff from the label. Just Steady Beat recordings. It's just stuff from the label. and that's probably the place you get the cheapest, the cheapest probably. And then there's a Steady Beat Records Discogs, this one, which sells all the stuff that I find in these
worthy of
collections.
Discogs.
Yeah, worthy of Discogs. Nothing under $20 for sure.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to waste my time bagging it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I see, well, why are these people selling like a record for like, I don't know, 50 cents or like $2? Bro, who's gonna buy that record?
Yeah.
And you see fair G minus. Oh, what the? Why? Why waste your time putting it up?
Yeah.
Who's gonna? Oh my. But I'll
So-
go. So I think there's some jokers on there because I had a mint condition Earth, Wind and Fire September for sale, and you know when they bought it? On the 21st of September.
Oh wow.
I said, "You clowns."
Yeah.
Do you remember?
Do you remember?
Yeah, and they got it. I'm like, why are they buying Earth, Wind and Fire? It's a mint. It's a mint. Oh, because September. It's September 21st. Wow. So yeah, I got that, and then there's also Steady Beat Records website that has some stuff. Usually when I'm on Instagram, I'll post it up, boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
Say, hey, we got this, and then I'll put it on the site, so that way people can always find it there, and that's it. Because that way it's like Discogs, whether you know it or not, you sell a record for $20. You're actually selling it for like 17, because you get dinged by Discogs, and then you get dinged by PayPal, and you're like, well, what happened to this money? And then if your shipping is not up to par and it goes to Australia, oh dude, I only charged them 20 for shipping, and shipping is 28.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I lost. Did I lose? Yeah, I'll just put it on my site, say shipping 25. You lose, I lose. I don't know, but hey.
So like I remember a few weeks back, like we were talking about, like now you're pretty much concentrating on Latin, like all types of Latin like I mean, I don't even know what to call it. Like, what do you call all these styles that you play? It's just
first of all, you branch out into it's Latin first of all, right?
Yeah.
But like in America, South America, Mexico, Caribbean, they had all kinds of music going on at the same time. We're listening to soul, we're listening to country, we're listening to pop, we're listening to all this other stuff. They were listening to all that stuff too, but in Spanish. They were listening to soul in Spanish. They were listening to pop in Spanish. They were listening to funk in Spanish, but in Spanish. We didn't know that because they only played them for their audiences. It was a little too exotic for American audiences here, even for Mexican radio to play that music here. But it exists. There's real good psychedelic music in Spanish. There's all kinds of everything you ever thought existed in English exists in Spanish. And it's just not until maybe when I started getting into this was, I'd say, 2000. I don't know. It's been in the last 20 years.
Yeah.
The last 20 years. 2001, 2002, something like that. Maybe 2003. Because I bought a cassette. I bought a cassette in the alleys in downtown LA, right? And it had some psychedelic cumbia. It had the Afro sound on it. And it had a couple other songs on there that I heard them somewhere, I don't know where, but I'm like, dude, when you hear a song and you're like, oh yeah, but you never hear it ever again, and then you hear it like, dude, I need to go down this rabbit hole. And that's what happened. I went down that rabbit hole, and then I started connecting with people in Peru, in Colombia, and in Puerto Rico, and just collectors, and then I'm being exposed to all this different music. I'm buying compilation albums and saying, oh, this guy's good. Oh, this guy, forget that guy. This guy's good. Forget that guy. And like these guys. And then going after those 45s. Back in 2010, 15 years ago. Going after all that stuff that now people are like, we got to find those. Like, a little late. I got a copy. $50 or whatever, right? It's like that. So you do that, and then at some point you're like, okay, man, I want to get into cumbia, and you learn everything about cumbia. You're like, it comes from Colombia, and there's different styles in Colombia, and then they went to Mexico, and then hit Monterrey, and then there's a different style there, and then there's coastal cumbia from Mexico, and then there's Mexico City sonidero cumbia. Wow, all these different things.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it goes Tex-Mex, and you have Tex-Mex cumbia. So you got to figure, what kind of DJ do you want to be? Because some DJs strictly play vallenato Colombian cumbia. Some DJs strictly play this, and you're like, well, I want to play Mexican cumbia. I want to play some Mickey Laude. I want to play some Fito Olivares. I want to play all that stuff. And people are like, well, you know what? Why? I just want to play everything that's good, and it doesn't even have to be cumbia. You know.
How do so those DJs that play that kind of cumbia where the voice is really low pitch? How do they get it to sound like that?
Oh, that's a different style. That's a different style because what they're doing to that is they're called rebajadas.
Uh-huh.
They're called rebajadas, and that started in Monterrey, from a guy named Sonido Dueñas. He's the first guy because in Colombia and Old Mexico they don't have techniques. They have these other type of turntables that play 78s. All right, and originally some of these records were 78.
Oh
cumbias.
shit!
So they'd bring it down to 45, and then they're like,
Yeah.
But these records
But it
are
sounds-
fast.
it sounds
These
cool.
records
Okay,
are fast.
no
when
wonder.
you first hear them, they're
Okay.
fast, and you're like, that's why you slow it down because at first they sound like.
That's more like the Afro cumbia.
Yeah. That's like a gaita. That's a gaita, a paseo, or merengue even. It's like.
Yeah, you're right,
They
yeah.
slow it down like. And they're like.
Oh, wow.
Few of those is cool, but not the whole set. Because the whole set, you're like, bro, oh man, oh no, hey.
It's like the chopped and screwed from Texas. It's like,
Well, yeah, you know, you get to
Yeah.
like, come on, bro, switch it up. So
oh my god.
that's what that's called. That's called rebajadas.
Yeah.
And those are that guy started off, and now other people do it. Now actually bands incorporate that in their actually La Diabla does it in one of their songs that I put out towards the end of the song because the song is fast, and then there's a break, and he's like, whoa, 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 and so I was getting slow. You're like, oh.
Did you pitch that down like in post production or like did they
no,
do it live?
That's the way they do it. That's the way the song is. And now you have guys who are actually just producing music, looping all that, and just basically grabbing a part of that, looping it, and just like, oh, it's all slow now, and then throwing their own little melody on top of it, and then it becomes a digicumbia. You know.
Were you aware of the scene in Texas? People like El Dusty and Eric James and all those guys who were doing the trap cumbia stuff.
Yeah, they're doing. I mean, yeah, I'm familiar with those. When all that stuff started coming out, like 6-7 years ago, maybe, something like that.
Yep.
When that was coming out, I was like, okay, they're adding something different to it. They're mixing it up now. Just like
bass,
they're
bass.
having to my head. I'm like, okay, they have that hip hop sensibility.
Yeah.
They're grabbing something. It's like now we're making it ours.
Yeah.
And making it all there. And you hear it like the purists are like, oh, dude, get out of here with that. Right? And some guys are like, dude, this is a brand new sound I never heard, and that's cool too.
Yeah, because they used to do. I think they would do a weekly or a monthly, and they would pull a lot of people, and that event would go off like the part. It was a party, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's guys that are doing that right now. Turbo Sonidero.
Oh yeah.
From up north, he does that.
I did a collab with him where I threw over a Big L a cappella, and then I did another one where I think I did like Busta Rhymes over one of his tracks.
Rhythms,
yeah.
Right on. See, so there's guys doing all that stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, and there's a label out of Oakland called Discos Mas. They're doing all the DJ cumbia, right? And they're doing it good because they're getting actual bands that have been together and they're doing their thing, and they're incorporating a lot of digital electronic into the cumbia, and it sounds good because you realize this is not just a pad going on.
Yeah.
This is actual musicians doing their thing, and he does a good job of that too. So, yeah, and it just depends, as like. Cumbia is an easy genre for me. There's a lot of it, and there's all kinds of it, and it's danceable. So it's easy to pick up anything. Oh, boom! I got the crowd dancing, right?
Yeah.
But for me, it's like, cool, you got that cumbia. But the best thing is play something that no one's ever heard, but it's good.
Yeah.
It's good, and you turn all those people into fans of whatever you're playing, which is good, right? And sometimes that's lost with other DJs. They're just like playing the same thing because they know it hits. Like, color outside the lines a little bit, get a little nervous, see what happens. And if it don't work, it don't work, but you never know, it might, and that's what happens sometimes. But the thing is, like I said, cumbia is like the easy thing. Then you start going into like, well, let me listen to a guaracha. Like, well, what's a guaracha? If you just play and you listen to the rhythm or whatever, like, oh, it's like a backward cumbia almost, because the cumbia rhythm's like, the bass line is like dum 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 dum. And the guaracha like it's like almost backwards if you listen to it.
Yeah.
But that's kind of like the basis for salsa. Salsa, you mix the guaracha, you throw in some guaguancao and a little mambo, and boom, and a son nocturno, and it's a salsa, bro. It's literally, ding, 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 hey, it's a salsa now, and that's kind of the basis. And people, when you play a guaracha, it's gonna make people dance, and people don't know why. It's because it's more of a salsa, and cumbia too. But people don't get that. But some people don't know what the difference is. Oh, it's all salsa, right? No,
recently I went to Olvera Street. I took my daughter there, and my girlfriend, and we passed by like the little central area, like there's like a round area that's meant for gathering. It's like a plaza.
Yeah.
And they had a DJ
called
there.
Zócalo.
Yeah, there you go. And then they had a DJ playing music, and I guess the DJ had the MC. And they had like a little party going just of regular passerbys, like even just regular like Americans, like we're getting down to cumbia.
Because they're like, oh, what is this?
Like it makes everybody
My
dance.
butt's shaking.
Yeah. And like there was people that were just enjoying watching other people dance,
Yep.
And but like cumbia is definitely like, I think it's like the low key international music, really. Like people just don't realize it, but it's pretty international.
Well, a lot of the guys are playing saying that cumbia is a new punk. I started with the Commons. Well, they call themselves Tropa Mágica. I recorded an album with them. I mean, a record with them. And I told them, hey, listen, I want to record this song on the A side, and I want to record this song on the B side. So learn these songs, and I'll see you guys at the studio. We got the studio, and he's like, oh man, we got the song perfect. I said, you got the B side too? He goes, well, listen, we decided to record another song. I'm like, but I asked you to record this song. Like, no, well, we're going to record the Selena Cumbia song, our version, kind of punky cumbia. I'm like, do it. So they did that, right? Cool. So then I got a hold of Spaghetti Cumbia. I said, Spaghetti Cumbia, I need you guys to do this song. Fuck those guys. I just say that. But I'm like, dude, this song needs to be done, man. And these guys they did a B-side. So, and then when they did it. I think Spaghetti did the better wood, and it sounded better because their guitar player is like, he's built in for that wah. He's got that vibe, and it worked out. So see, as a DJ, going back, the cumbia isn't easy, right? But then you want to expand, and then you play other things, and then before you know it, you're going into these Afro rhythms, and then Latin funk, and then you're going into Latin disco, and then you're going to rock and roll covers from the '60s, and then you're on another plane, and then you don't even know it because you've been nerded out all this with all your records by yourself, and then you get a chance to play out somewhere, and you play all that, and people get their mind blown, and you're like, oh really? And then before you know it, like, come back, keep playing, and then you're just playing everywhere. That's crazy.
Well, you know what, I feel like right now is a good time for you to get into all that stuff that you're talking about.
Everything. I'm probably not going to play cumbia. Maybe one or two.
No, I mean, just play whatever you want. But like what I'm saying is, like, we're now going to enter your world of music.
Oh, wow.
And with your selections.
All right, let's see here what we're going to start the set off with. I like starting.
Well, actually, I mean, I'm going to record you with the MacBook.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, this is just for the interview. But yeah, man, thank you for giving us a history on Steady Beat and your life in general. And I personally, I think it's amazing because I know how hard it is to run a shop, So like to see one person do it, it's pretty, it's insane, but it's also inspiring, like to see someone do it during these days, where not a lot of people, can step up to this type of responsibility, but like, I think you're doing a really great job, man.
Thank you, man.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And then especially just because, like a lot of shops, like they're not as educated as you are, but like you got your stuff all categorized, and like you could tell that you're serious about your music, and it's always nice to go to a shop, that takes the music seriously, and it's just not a business,
Yeah.
So
exactly.
So thank you and big up.
It's a lifestyle.
Yeah, it's a lifestyle.
Thank you too, Raul, man.
Yep.
Thank you very much
for sure
taking the time.
Steady Beat Records. We're about to get into the mix.
Yeah.
Cut.
Desde luego, adiós ciudad vieja. Demoiselle? Bonsoir. Nous sommes très belles, demoiselle. Vous me parlez français?
De una utopía, de una sociedad de gente que está cansado de la misma mierda que nos tiran los gobiernos. Un sistema que nos tiene amarrados. Nosotros somos artistas, poetas, cantantes, músicos y tenemos nuestra propia sociedad que viaja el planeta entero. De Nueva York a San Juan, a Miami, a Japón, a Europa, África, Brasil, donde sea, porque nosotros tenemos nuestra propia conectividad.
sueña con la paz y la lleva dentro de sí mismo. Él tiene la paz y no lo sabe. Debe cerrar los ojos y ver dentro de sí mismo. Tanta gente ya olvidó la verdad que no cambió y la paz que fue enseñada poca gente comprendió. Mi Señor, vuelve a tu pueblo, no lo dejes para luego, que el amor es importante, sacrifícate de nuevo. La 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 la. El otro día un caminante exclamó: nada valen los que hacen la guerra, la paz es aún más importante que ellos. La frase vive en los cerebros privilegiados de gente maravillosa y se extravió en el laberinto de los pensamientos obstruidos por la falta de amor. Y mucha gente no la oyó porque no quiso oír. Todos están sordos. Mucha gente no creyó que el amor solo hace bien y la cobardía sorda y era sin mirar a quién. Ay, Señor, vuelve a tu pueblo, no lo dejes para luego, que el amor es importante, sacrifícate de nuevo. La 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 la. Un día al fin crecerá el amor y en todo su esplendor 1000 voces cantarán y el canto se oirá en los campos, subirá las montañas, correrá el universo y una estrella brillará señalando el camino. Gloria a Dios en las alturas y paz en la tierra para los hombres de buena voluntad. Mucha gente se alejó de un camino que es de luz, poca gente recordó el mensaje de una cruz. Ay, Señor, vuelve a tu pueblo, no lo dejes para luego, que el amor es importante, sacrifícate de nuevo. La 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 la.
Welcome to Funk City.
Mira, mira, oye chico, oye Gonzalo, ven acá.
You are making a big mistake. Ay, esta niña se ha equivocado.
Get back, man. Come on. Para atrás y para coger impulso. City.
Amor, otra vez nos encontramos aquí, en esta playa donde nos conocimos hace un año. Mi vida, no quiero saber qué fue de ti en ese tiempo que dejamos de vernos, ni cómo llenaste tus horas vacías. La misma melodía del mar, el mismo cielo, la misma playa ardiente que cobijó nuestro amor. Dime, ¿me llevas en ti como yo te llevo dentro de mí? La gente pasa sin fijarse en nosotros, pues tú y yo somos una pareja más sobre la arena de esta playa ardiente. Pasarán estos días y dejaremos de vernos nuevamente. Tú te irás y yo por mi parte me refugiaré en mi soledad para pensar en ti. Irás impregnado de mí. Llevarás las huellas de mis besos ardientes.
Yo llevaré tu amor. Amor mío.
Amor mío. Cierra los ojos, abrázate a mí y deslicemos nuestro amor.
Sí, mi vida.
Ven.
Sí, mi amor.
Ven, levántate. Vamos a bailar esta melodía junto al mar. Bésame.
Gracias, mi vida.
Bésame.
Make me cry. I don't want you more. porque quisiera poder saber lo que es tu vida. Cuéntame cosas tuyas que junto a ti me podrá volver la fe perdida. Cuéntame cosas tuyas que me descubran tu corazón y lo que sientes. Cuéntame cosas tuyas que me convenza por su razón lo que me cuentes. Tus palabras yo guardaré como un tesoro. Confidente fiel puedo ser si tú lo quieres. Cuéntame, 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 cuéntame. Cuéntame cosas tuyas porque quisiera poder saber lo que es tu vida. Cuéntame cosas tuyas que junto a ti me podrá volver la fe perdida. Cuéntame cosas tuyas que me descubran tu corazón y lo que sientes. Cuéntame cosas tuyas que me convenza por su razón lo que me cuentes. Cuéntame cosas tuyas, 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 cuéntame cosas tuyas. Cuando yo quiero ir a pasear, a mi manera quiero gozar, bailando un ritmo sensacional, con mi chamaca yo quiero estar. Y cuando pienso en los demás, a mí no me importa lo que pueda pasar. Bailemos, chamacos, que este ritmo se va a terminar. Y a tu chamaca tienes que ir a buscar. Cuando yo quiero ir a pasear, a mi manera quiero gozar, bailando un ritmo sensacional, con mi chamaca yo quiero estar. Y cuando pienso en los demás, a mí no me importa lo que pueda pasar. Bailemos, chamacos, que este ritmo se va a terminar. Y a tu chamaca tú tienes que ir a buscar. chamacos, bailemos, bailemos este ritmo para gozar. 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 Chamacos, bailemos, bailemos este ritmo para gozar.
ya no quiere cumbia. Un día desperté muy vacilador y me la agarraba, con ella jugueteaba. Pero me asusté y me fui al doctor, con el mismo aquel que me recomendó que diera garrote a mi pobre mujer. Ay, a mi pobre mujer. Pues ahora comprendo que todo es con medida. Bajadas y subidas te castiga la vida. Bajadas y subidas te castiga la vida. Hoy tengo telarañas, pues ya no se me estira. Garrote, garrote, garrote. Garrote chiquito, no quiere, no quiere, no quiere. No quiere impactar el garrote. Le lloro, le hablo y le digo que vuelva, que yo estoy vivo. Garrote, garrote, garrote. Garrote chiquito y grandote. Para todos los sonideros de México. Ay, no más.
¿Y cómo goza? Alex.
Cumbia. Garrote. Hermosas mujeres para ver si así mi garrote funcionaba. Dije ya la hice sin preocupaciones, fallaron mis intentos por más que jugueteaba. Ahora me quedó como un triste camarón, por andar de loco el garrote no aguantó. Aquel ariete fuerte, impactante y encajoso ahora ya no sirve, en piltrafa quedó. Garrote, garrote, garrote. Garrote chiquito y grandote. No quiere, no quiere, no quiere. No quiere volver a impactar. Le lloro, le hablo, le digo que vuelva, que yo mi hijo vivo. Garrote, garrote, garrote. Garrote chiquito y grandote. Ay, pero ¿por qué te mueres? Si estoy en la plena juventud.
The latest dance in South America. Teacher did, it's a the Cumbia. And watch the girl them a raise to the highest bidder. Teacher did, it's a the Cumbia. And the latest dance in South America. Alright yo, it's a the Cumbia. And watch the girl them a raise to the highest bidder. Roll out the 88 speaker. The cotton tire as your operator. I am the DJ, I am the singer. Yes, you never know I am the selector. With I know we nice up your area. Don't a Brazil where you get the salsa. Sweet reggae music in Jamaica. Get the Afrobeat down in Nigeria. With I know with something extra. Then we fling it in a Costa Rica. La 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 down in Bolivia. Till I pull out we fling it in a China. Down in Japan they say what a drama. With Santa not the mic center. Tell the whole of them no fit touch the data. The visibility is getting higher with it. Cumbia and the latest dance in South America. See it did, it's a the Cumbia. You watch the girl them a raise to the highest bidder. See it did, it's a the Cumbia. And the latest dance in South America. Alright yo, it's a the Cumbia. You watch the girl them a raise to the highest bidder. No! Prior the statement is getting bigger from Sassem, DRS and Gamer. Show them a play, me say down a Malta. From Algeria go straight to Lima. Hitting up the chart, me say down Jamaica. Then a first class ticket up the Supermana. Yes, we going down to the gala. They say never know it's a the chart, but it's a the Cumbia. And the latest dance in South America. Now when you had it, Cumbia. You watch the girl, them a raise to the highest bidder. See it a then, it's a the Cumbia. Watch the girl, them a raise to the highest bidder. it's a the Cumbia. And the latest dance in a South America. Where them say? Go loud the 18-inch speaker. Ika ya and the operator. I am the DJ, I am the singer. Yes, you never know I am the selector. With I am open nice up your area. Look at Brazil where you get the salsa. Please make a music in Jamaica. And they are probably from Nigeria. It's a the Cumbia. And the latest dance in a South America. The one of the Cumbia. You watch the girl, them a raise to the highest bidder. Say it's a the Cumbia. And the latest dance in a South America. Alright now, it's a the Cumbia. You watch the girl, them a raise to the highest bidder. Me speed it up and fling it in a Colombia. And me fling it down a Bolivia. La 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 in a Costa Rica. In a Polo, me fling it in a China. Over Japan, they say what a drama with San Cotton. And they might center. Tell the whole of them not to touch the data. The visibility is getting higher with it. Cumbia. And the latest dance in a South America. Now when you're higher, Cumbia. You watch the girl, them a real.
arriba.
Pa' toda la bandera latina, latina, latina. Pa' toda la banda, pa' toda la raza, para toda la gente que se quiere divertir. Venga nena, salgamos a bailar. La cumbia, la chicha, la rumba pa' gozar. Esta es la nueva ola, la onda tropical. La cumbia que llegó y es internacional. Síguelo, síguelo, sigue el montuno. Síguelo, síguelo, sigue el guaguancó. Síguelo, síguelo, sigue el montuno. Síguelo, síguelo, sigue el guaguancó. Guaguancó, guaguancó. Un meneíto particular. El meneíto, un meneíto particular. El meneíto, un meneíto particular. El meneíto, un meneíto particular.
José Luis Carvalho, de la nueva crema. El meneíto particular, ese que yo quiero imitar. El meneíto particular. A esta mi banda quiero llevar, olvidar las penas. Un momentito para sentirme bien ligerito y aprender el tao tumbao que tiene la negra bien caminado. El meneíto que me puede llevar a Bolivia, Argentina, Perú, Costa Rica, Venezuela, la locura, al más allá, al más allá, al más allá.
Un meneíto particular. El meneíto, un meneíto particular. El meneíto, un meneíto particular. El meneíto, un meneíto particular.
Balosa, chacarera, milonga, merengue, salsa y mambo. Para peruano y son cubano. Y para siempre la cumbia. Y para siempre la chicha. Y para siempre la cumbia. Y para siempre la chicha.
¿Aló? ¿Está Tomás?
¿El bajo? Ya voy, cabrón.
Marco, Stefan, Comando, vamos muchachos.
más grasa ni azúcar ni harina ni más golosinas que me hacen gordito. No más grasa ni azúcar ni harina ni más golosinas que me hacen gordito. Con mi colesterol en 300, el antojo casi me domina. Y pa' colmo mi fiel chaparrita con amor me grita desde la cocina. Y pa' colmo mi fiel chaparrita con amor me grita desde la cocina.
¿Quieres que te guise un chicharrón, un pedazo de jamón o prefieres pollo frito, mi amorcito?
No, muy sabroso chicharrón, tu pollito y tu jamón, pero ahorita nada de eso, cariñito.
¿Qué es lo que te pasa, corazón? Siempre has sido comelón y hoy te me pones tus moños de gordito.
No, muchas gracias, pero no, que el doctor ya me ordenó que me faje el cinturón. Es que me sube el colesterol, mi amorcito.
Me sube el colesterol.
Es que me sube el colesterol, mamacita.
Me sube el colesterol.
Es que me sube el colesterol, mi chaparrita.
Me sube el colesterol.
Es que me sube el colesterol, mi puchunguita.
Me sube el colesterol.
Y esta va para todos los gorditos. Ay, ¿cómo te dijo? Con mi colesterol en 300 y el antojo casi me domina. Y pa' colmo mi piel chaparrita con amor me grita desde la cocina. Y pa' colmo mi piel chaparrita con amor me grita desde la cocina.
¿Quieres que te guise un chicharrón, un pedazo de jamón o prefieres pollo frito, mi amorcito?
No, muy sabroso el chicharrón, tu pollito y tu jamón, pero ahorita nada de eso, cariñito.
¿Qué es lo que te pasa, corazón? Siempre has sido comelón y hoy te me pones tus moños de gordito.
No, muchas gracias, pero no, que el doctor ya me ordenó que me faje el cinturón. Es que me sube el colesterol, mi amorcito.
Me sube el colesterol.
Es que me sube el colesterol, mamacita.
Me sube el colesterol.
Es que me sube el colesterol, mi chaparrita.
Me sube el colesterol.
Es que me sube el colesterol, mi puchunguita.
Me sube el colesterol.
Es que me pongo más barrigón, mamacita.
Me sube el colesterol.
Que súbele, que súbele, que súbele, que súbele,
me sube el colesterol.
Se me acelera hasta el corazón, corazoncito.
Me sube el colesterol.
Pero que mira así como fajitas, compadre.
Me sube el colesterol.
Pero que mira así como enfulido.
Me sube el colesterol.
Coma lo que coma, compadre.
Me sube el colesterol.
17 entró el amor a llamarnos. Empiezan las promesas que vienen y luego se van, por siempre se van. Yo recuerdo mi primer amor, qué belleza y sus promesas que me hicieron caer en el error. Qué mala niña me perdió. Tu calor desprende una gran pasión que me quema por siempre. Tu calor me enciende, me quema para siempre. Ahora que ya eres mujer, el tiempo atrás no te cambió, eres más ardiente hoy. Yo recuerdo cómo el sol está muy tibio comparado a tu pasión que me quema como fuego. Yo recuerdo mi primer amor, qué belleza y sus promesas que me hicieron caer en el error. Qué mala niña me perdió. Tu calor desprende una gran pasión que me quema por siempre. Tu calor me enciende, me quema para siempre. Ahora que ya eres mujer, el tiempo atrás no te cambió, eres más ardiente.